We begin today in 13W01A, which is a 1.5 snapshot, and today, to start out with, I will be placing a daylight sensor in the nether, since in this snapshot, and I believe the snapshot after this, there's a very brief range of releases where a daylight sensor placed down in a dimension without sunlight would still register a sun value and thus cause a redstone pulse. And I'm just going to use that to put some little lamps around my nether hub so that I can have that as a thing that I can display, but also add a little bit of prettiness to my area. I gotta go get some nether quartz, because prior to now I have had none, because they haven't been needed for anything, but I gotta get them to craft these sensors. I also want to try and get some more glowstone for glowstone lamps, which is what I'm gonna be powering with the daylight sensors. Huh. Fire? But no fire? The fire with no fire? What? Owie. Okay. The other bits I can get fairly easily. I've gotten quite a bit of glass from trading with librarians, and wood isn't that hard to come across. I guess I'll have to go dig out some redstone to be able to make the redstone lamps, but I doubt that'll be much of an issue. I didn't even realize the wither skeletons just make regular skeleton noises. That's kind of cursed. So I think what I might do, since I'm not really wanting to expand this at the moment, I'll probably just add, I don't know, like here, and then do that. I thought it wasn't gonna work for a second there, but that rounds things out a little bit. It's unintrusive, it doesn't have to be a big addition. Just something to say that I've got the thing in my world. And supposedly I can block update things next to this daylight sensor in the future without breaking this. It's just that if I were to invert it, then it would recalculate the light level, and then it would lose its powering status. So I'm just gonna put these around here, maybe do something like this, just to give it a little extra something, just like that. Nice little addition, gives it a little more depth, I guess, kinda, if you ignore the fact that it's unsupported beneath, above the water there. It adds a little something. I like it. I'm satisfied. This next thing is in the very next snapshot, but it's sort of a special case because it's a early upload of the snapshot. This snapshot actually got I guess it got taken down and then re-released, because the thing that I'm gonna add from this version is quite a, I don't know, it's something that I don't know how it happened, I guess because of the way that the thing was added, but they took down this instance of the snapshot and replaced it with another version of the same snapshot, which fixed what I'm about to do. But since this earlier version is still around, and people have re-uploaded it and you can install it and run your world on it, I can still do it. It feels fitting to put this next to the spawner. You will see why in just a second. So if I place down a minecart, it places down a minecart with spawner. and so that's just there now. I assume minecart entities don't despawn. I suppose I'll leave it on the rail, just in case that changes anything. Not that I should think it would, but I also am aware that I didn't space it consistently with the way that I spaced the other pedestals, but, you know, they're kind of a pair, so I don't mind that they're closer together. But that is all that there is to this snapshot also, and as such, I move on. Okay, so I've just had to take a trip over to the reversion hut. This is where I go when I need to go back to a previous version to do something that I missed or need to, like, duplicate or something else. And I was supposed to get an extra copy of a level 5 enchantment on all of the things that I'm intending to put everything on later on. So I'm just doing that real quick right now, so that I don't forget to do it in the future, because I was meant to do it when I did it with all of the other stuff, but I forgot to do it at that point. Okay, there we go. That's all I needed. Now I can move on. Okay, so in this version, there's two things that I need. This is a 1.7 snapshot. I've skipped over 1.6. I believe this is 13W36A. And one of the things should be something cool involving my villagers. I'm not exactly sure how this is gonna work, but yeah, I guess I just load my guys, and that's all it takes in this snapshot. I just have to load my existing villagers, and the second element of any of their trades is just erased. Like these book trades, they usually, you have to give them a book, and then you have to give them emeralds as well. The emerald part of that is just no longer existent, which now means that all of these book trades, it's just you give them a book, and they give you whatever their enchant is, and you don't have to pay for it. Essentially, enchanted books are now free, which is very helpful. Though I'm not low on emeralds, it just means that I'm not going to have to worry about ever really being low on emeralds as a consequence of these guys. Oh, child. I forgot that those would be here now. The next thing I need to do is enchant a fishing rod, because this is the snapshot where I can get fishing rod enchantments onto a carrot on a stick. Since I guess this is another case of, this is the snapshot where a thing was added and the developers forgot to account for an aspect of the thing. What? What? Why is that enchanted with nothing? I guess using a fishing rod on an enchantment table is not fully implemented in this snapshot. This isn't the only snapshot where I can do this, it's just the first where it became available. I think this is the snapshot where fishing rod enchantments were added, but I guess they don't work properly in an enchanting table yet, so I'll have to do that maybe in the next snapshot. I need to at least get the carrot for the carrot on a stick. Though I will say this mob farm is not nearly as effective as it was in the earlier versions. Honestly, I might rather just go out and hunt some guys. Okay, I do now have carrots for the carrot on a stick, but the primary thing that I need from this version, this is 1.7 point something or another, 1.7.6 pre-2, that's what this version is. Because there's some kind of thing that I can do involving the placement of mob heads, preventing block updates, allowing for illegal block placements, but that's going to require that I get mob heads, and the easiest way to get mob heads that I can conceive of is with a skeleton skulls, which is always a grind. I do luckily have a looting 3 sword. Now that I have 3 enchanted books, I can, and probably should, enchant all of my stuff freely. I haven't seen much of a need to at the moment, but I'll get round to it at some point. So I guess for now I'm just gonna go and hunt some wither skeletons until I get their heads. I have had a brainwave. Rather than trawling around in the nether fortress looking for wither skeletons, I have remembered that in this version, using skeleton spawn eggs spawns wither skeletons. So I'm just gonna go and get a bunch of these and then do it this way, because it's easier. Well, that process was relatively painless. I got 6 skulls out of the ordeal, which should be enough for what I'm gonna do, which honestly isn't that much. You could, like, make a wither skeleton skull nether portal if you wanted, because placing down the skulls doesn't update the blocks, so you would be able to replace the obsidian with the skeleton skulls in this situation and make a funky portal. I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to do is put crops on top of head, and I'm only going to do a couple of them, like probably wheat, carrot, and sugarcane, and I'll put them along my display path, and that's all I'm going to do with them. I believe that the way this works is by placing the skull up against a trapdoor. So if I do that, then yeah, that's funky. And the crop shouldn't try to update so long as it's fully grown. So assuming nothing else tries to update it, that should be able to persist just fine. Oh, but you know what, I gotta get more glowstone. Glowstone has been collected, so it is now time to see what I can do with this. I believe the reason why the water here never froze was probably because of the glowstone that was on here. I assume maybe that, you know, anytime the water would form into ice, the glowstone would just melt it. So I can do that and that. But I don't think that I can mine this skull. Because oh? No, I can't. Okay. There's 1 of 3. Got the very cursed sugarcane set up there. Oh yeah, the half doors are currently invisible. Oh. Interesting. So I don't seem to be able to do it with sugarcane, because sugarcane seems to update on its own. So at least I would have to keep the water next to it. I suppose that's still fine. If it's gonna be that way, it can still be on top of... Oh well, no. I guess that one's just not gonna work. Because it's not gonna matter if it has water next to it or not. If it's gonna keep updating, then it's gonna realize that it's on something that it shouldn't be and then pop off. So that makes me think that I can't do it with sugarcane. In that case, I'm gonna immediately pivot this over to carrot. It does consume the block of whatever it's being placed up against. I wonder if that can be used to destroy bedrock. I'll test that out in a minute. Okay, there's the wheat as well. And these ones don't seem to be updating. So I will assume that those are fine to just stay like that. Sure. Let me see if this can destroy bedrock. I put that there and then do that. It does. This is a very interesting discovery. This is not at all what I intended to do with this, but you know, when opportunity strikes, you can't just not bust through a bit of bedrock. I will admit, a bit later on, I do have some things on my list that are bedrock breaking techniques. This was not among them, but you know, I'm not going to complain about adding to the list. It is an incredibly simple bedrock breaking technique, but the silly part is this is not even the most simple bedrock breaking technique that's out there that I've found that I'm going to show off. But it is very simple. Almost to the point where you question A, how this happened, and B, how people found out that this happens. And so I'm just on a whim making a staircase up to the nether roof, I guess. I have no business up here at the moment, but there we go. Now I'm up top. Okay. I guess I should try the fishing rod thing again. Oh huh, the wheat popped off. I wonder if that's because they don't have water? No, that wouldn't affect the crops, that would affect the farmland, and they're not on farmland. So I guess that's just a non-permanent thing. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to get that to remain for a long time unless I were to, like, somehow pause block updates, which I'm sure may be possible, but probably is not easy, so I guess that's just a showcase rather than something to keep around. Oh well. Still cool nonetheless. And still useful to be able to break bedrock. I need to get more string to make more fishing rods. And I know just the place. Oh. The game crashed? The game crashed. Huh. Okay. I wonder what's up with that. I do have a backup after I got the skulls, and I haven't done much since then, but I wonder what about going over there is causing my game to crash. Yeah, instant crash upon joining the world. I've just booted up the latest release. I'm gonna see if it still crashes upon loading. Okay. So, something, somewhere, fixes that, so it's not gonna be a problem forever, which I'm happy about. I have no idea what it is that's causing such a thing to happen. Oh my god, what is that? Hold the phone. I'm gonna make an exception to my rules just to see what's going on here. Jesus Christ. Is that ocean floor? Ocean floor at Y negative 48. It's just a huge underwater chasm. And there's another one over there. I suppose my guess would be that it's maybe... Well, I have two guesses. My first guess is that I was gonna say the mob spawner, the spider spawner that's somewhere over here, but I don't even think that would have been loaded. I guess I would say it's probably something to do with the terrain generation then, because this is absolutely insane. It's an ocean that runs down to, like, almost the bottom of the world. And it's like all of the ocean chunks around this border here. Wow. I'm kinda speechless, because I have never seen generation like this. And I am being very sidetracked from what I was meant to be doing. So I'm gonna load the backup from the Wither Skulls. I'm gonna see if I can get some string without hard-locking myself out of my world. And then I'm gonna see if I can get those enchantments on that carrot on a stick. So I'll see you back there. Alright, back here. Let's try that again. If anything, this has just made me very grateful for the frequency of the world backups that I do, because I had a hunch going into this that messing around with old versions of the game might lead to unexpected consequences, I suppose. And yeah, something somewhere in that direction is no good. Okay, I'm hoping it works this time. Oh, yep. Okay. It is indeed functional now. 27 levels to combine, huh? I'm stupid. There we go. I didn't get my levels up. More lure. No luck of the sea. 3 rods with lure 2 unbreaking 3. 1 rod with just unbreaking 3. Man. that's something decent. It's not quite all the way there, but I can work with that. Look at the C3. Now we just need to get another lure 2 or 3, I guess. How much to put these together? Too expensive. What do you mean, too expensive? It's 2 enchantments. What do you mean, too expensive? Ah, another one that's just done breaking 3. It's fine, I can make some more rods. Okay. That's the kind of thing that you like to see. All it took was a bit of persistence. I'll take that. Now, the question is, can I combine it with the feather falling fishing rod? No, that's too expensive. Okay. That's fine. All it means is that I need to make 2 separate carrot on a stick, one for each of those. There it is. And there's the other. Amazing. I love my feather falling 4 carrot on a stick. I gotta put them away somewhere safe. And then I gotta make a backup pronto. And then I gotta get the hell out of this cursed version of the game. There we go. Now, I guess I can tick off the things for this stop and the last stop, since I got the carrot on a stick thing done. Skull head update pausing thing, I guess I can tick off. I did do it, it just doesn't work as I expected. I considered maybe doing the wither head nether portal thing to make up for it, but I just don't really think I care about it too much. Like, it's a neat thing, but I've seen it do its thing, and I've got my other little weird quirky nether portal blocks around that are already to that effect, so I'll be fine without it. Yeah, the door, half door, still is here. It's just invisible. I just wanted to make sure, because the same thing happened to the half door over at the beta hut. But you can still see the outline, and you can still interact with it. I assume the same is the case for the iron door. Of course, I'm not going to be able to open it without some kind of redstone input, but you can still see the outline. It's still there. Oh, you know what? When I reverted the world back after I got trapped out of it, it undid my bedrock staircase up to the roof. Which I guess is fine, because I've got more bedrock breaking to show off regardless. Like how, in this snapshot, placing a door will just delete whatever is above it. Simple as that. I'm guessing around this time they were messing around with the way that placing things interacts with other stuff around them, and I guess the result of that was some weird business going on between certain things ignoring things that they shouldn't in order to prioritize their placement, and so consequently bedrock can be destroyed. But that is it for this snapshot, just a very short showcase of bedrock breaking. Okay, so I just got done setting up a little room for where I'm gonna put my overworld end portal area. I've dug out this 7 high, and then 13 across and 13 down. And I'm gonna fill the floor of this with the end portal blocks, which now have become tile.null.name. since they are very soon to be removed from the game. And my vision with this room is that eventually when Skulk gets added, the walls will become Skulk because it has a similar kind of dark texture with little bits of light among it. And so I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to make this room kind of resemble the void of the end, and then I might make like a little end stone island in the middle. That's the general plan. I have to do this part of it now, since the portal blocks are very soon to be removed from the game. So if I don't do this in this or another very soon snapshot, then I won't be able to in future. And there we go. Oh. Good thing I made a backup, huh? This is why I always make backups all the time before I do anything that can have an irreversible consequence. Or just anything that I think might be risky in any way. Since messing up the placement of these means having a misplaced end portal block in my world for probably the rest of time. And I'm not about that. There we go. That's how it's meant to look. And now I can seal this up so that I can access it via the nether portal. And in the future, when I have the blocks that I want to finish up that room, I will return to make it look prettier. But for now I need to head into the end for a short while. Right, so before I hop into the end, I should make another backup. Okay, and now I hop in. This isn't the same platform, obsidian platform, that I arrived on last time, is it? Oh, did I look at a guy? Oh, I guess I did look at a guy. I'm not too familiar with old end generation, but this seems a bit wacky. I guess a lot of it would have been loaded back in beta 1.9 pre-release 4, because I did enter the end there to mess with the terrain generation in the overworld, but I don't know if I loaded all of it, or at least all of the island here. Oh yeah, look, there's the other obsidian platform from where I came in. Because I believe at the time when I came in via the nether, entering an end portal in the nether would send you to the same coordinates. That's not true. That's not what it did. Because this is 0, 0. It put me at 0, 0. Which is weird. There's also no dragon. And there's no, like, exit gateway. I assume the dragon maybe will respawn when the end gets updated. Because if not, then I don't know how I'm gonna go about resummoning the dragon to ever fight them. And that also means that I'm not going to be able to generate end gateways, and so in order to get out to the outer islands whenever they get added, I'm going to have to just bridge out for like 1,000 blocks. But, I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Because for now, I need to find somewhere to put down these portal blocks. I think I want to do it somewhere near the edge of the island, maybe off the edge a bit, because if the dragon does come back, I don't want a chance having what I'm throwing together be destroyed. So maybe I go to 0 on the z-axis, and then from here I bridge out a bit. I don't know exactly how far I want to go out. 250. Seems like a decent enough stopping point. And then from here, I'm placing down cobblestone as a temporary block. This will probably be replaced with something later to pretty it up a bit. But currently I'm just here to make sure that the things get used before they go away. That's the number one priority here. Oh. Huh. I can't place them. Interesting. I don't have anything in my inventory that wouldn't have been in the game in older versions. I'm going to try downgrading the world, and I will see what happens with that. Interesting. Okay, well, I don't know. It's put me at the same coordinates I was at in the overworld. That makes me want to try something, but I have to load my backup onto here to be able to do it. Oh, oh. Huh. Okay. I'm guessing that when I tried to backport the chunks to the beta 1.9 pre-release 4, which is the first version that has the end dimension because it uses a different world format, I'm assuming it regenerated the chunks, and so I just died upon spawning in. I do have maybe one more idea that I can try. Yeah, okay. I don't think it's gonna be possible for me to put end portals in the end. I can't confirm that it was ever possible in any versions of the game. I don't know if I could have done it in the version where it was added. I didn't try, and at this point my world is too progressed for me to be able to go back and see if it will work, because, as is evident, trying to backport that far does not result in any kind of good result, so I'm gonna have to settle for just having the nether portal in the end, which is still something, and it'll function. After a certain point, I can't use it currently, but in 1.13 and beyond, that nether portal, when I place it in the end, should just link to a regular nether portal in the nether, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so same diamond studded platform as before, put the portal down, and that's really, I guess, all I'm here for. I can go through this portal just to show you what'll happen. It's just gonna supposedly put me at the same coordinates in the nether, which I assume is going to suffocate me, or completely break the game. No. Huh. Fancy that, it actually put me on a valid block location. Now I just gotta find wherever my staircase is to get me out of here. Aha. At this point I can grab the bits that I brought with me. I wasn't expecting to survive the trip back, that's why I put everything away. I expected that to be a one-way trip, but that is the only thing that I came to this snapshot for. Happened to be a little bit more of a hassle than I expected, and I couldn't do as much as I wanted, but, you know, I still got something in there, so I ain't complaining. Oh. That's unexpected. The portal block is gone. It has ceased to be. I didn't know that would happen. I suppose that's probably also happened to the one up here then. Yeah. The end portal block is still there. Huh. Yeah, and all of the portal... I thought it was just the, like, inventory things, which I guess has been the case for the end portal, but the nether portal block... I don't know if something in updating the world forced, like, a block update on it or something, but... Those are my petrified slabs, I suppose. I guess now I gotta make a flint and steel and make a regular nether portal like every other person. That's kind of a shame. I was under the impression that they would stick around, but as I seem to be discovering more and more as I go through these versions, I don't have as much of an understanding as maybe I think I do, which now means that at the locations where I have put these portals, I'm going to need to remake them as regular portals, but, you know, I'm not the kind to get too despaired when things happen and things don't work out. Things are bound to go wrong when I'm doing stuff like this, especially when I don't know exactly what is going on or what I'm doing. I just gotta figure out where I am. I assume I'm somewhere below my nether hub. So my guess is that my staircase to get back up is not gonna be too far. Huh. Oh. Okay. The ladders, they had a full block hitbox. And so I broke them, and when I tried to replace it, it crashed my world. Okay, no ladders for now, I guess. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Things have changed. Okay, let me... What? Interesting. Okay. So the model for the trapdoor is on the opposite side to where the actual outline and, you know, interactable part of the trapdoor is. I tried to mine it to put it in the correct place, but you can't interact with this bit at all. It's like a phantom, like a shadow or something. And so I just broke the glowstone over there, which I don't really have the glowstone to replace it at the moment, so that's just gonna stay like that until I can be bothered to bring something by to fix it. I just gotta see where this takes me relative to the spawn area, because I don't have a portal at the other side at this point. Yeah, the little pyramid structure here is serving no purpose anymore. Well, now that I've mended all of my portals that got busted up, I suppose I can actually do what I came to do on this snapshot, which is only something brief. It's another bedrock breaking technique. If I understand how it works, hold on. Okay, so it has to... Huh? Ah, there we go. I had to be facing the right way. Okay. So using a replaceable block, things like grass, crops, flowers, things like that, if you place it facing towards something you want to destroy, and then right click on the top side of the block, then it'll destroy whatever would be in like the head space of the bed. So that's another way you can break bedrock in this snapshot, which is 14W28A. And now in 1.8 pre-release 1, there is yet another method to bypass bedrock. I believe by doing something like that. Yes. You can place down redstone against the side of a non-full block, and it'll just place where it would, regardless of what should be in the way. Oh, upside down stairs. Yo. Yeah, even though it still has the full block outline, you do seem to now be able to place things against it, and in this particular circumstance, it seems that redstone is able to bust through whatever would be in its way. Okay. I guess that's enough of a showcase and enough of a disaster for now. Things have gone quite not according to plan in many parts of this video. I think that's probably enough for me to call it for now. Hopefully next time things don't go so awry. But, you know, that's the nature of these things. I don't know how to, or where to, I guess, fully find the extent of all of these things without doing testing on my own, which I don't really do except for things that I know are going to require setup. Like, the first thing in the next video is going to be getting a stationary fireball to display, and I'm going to want to make sure I know how to do that before I try to throw that together onto a pedestal. But for a lot of these things, I kind of just read through the wiki, get a sense for how it works, and then try it out. And when my assumptions are wrong, then, you know, that's just the way stuff goes. I ain't too fussed about it. I'll leave it off there. See ya.